Welcome guys to my new Let's Play Vault Milestone 1. As you guys already know, this channel is all about visual novels, anime type games and all that stuff. Even though I have some Call of Duty and all that, you know, random stuff on there. But this channel is mainly about, you know, visual novels and anime stuff. So yeah, I saw this on Steam. And I was searching through different type of games that I might want to play up and put up in this channel, and I saw this one. I'm like, I have to play this, especially even after I read the description of this game on there. It sounded pretty interesting, and I thought it might be interesting for you guys too. So I bought it, and here we are now. So yeah, this is my first time playing this. I haven't really, you know, played it to see what, you know, to get the gist of it or anything like that, so it'll be the first time. And so yeah, Yvette, if you're watching this is my first time playing it, so you can't say anything now. Alright guys, yeah, let's get started. Let's go. Rughzenahide Castle, the Great Hall to the terrace, to the Sky Terrace. As sparks shot and flames spread through the Great Hall, a small shadow ascended the spiral staircase to the Sky Terrace. I am the one who's reached the top of the castle first. A girl who appeared no older than a child spearheaded the assault on Rughzenahide Castle and was the first to arrive at the highest point of its keep, the Sky Terrace. The girl, alert and aware, struck a defensive pose and quickly scanned her surroundings. She held her breath as she surveyed the terrace. Prior to the assault, the girl's party had received telling that the Sky Terrace was unguarded, and that the object of their pursuit was secluded in the terrace. Inheritor of the fabled passed down many paths and heirs to the throne. Reveal yourself, Princess Selphine and Ritona. You know there's no escaping from this. The girl's shout reverberated through the empty terrace. There was no response to the girl's command, but she maintained her guard. Despite her appearance, the girl was an experienced hunter. She moved towards the center of the sky terrace, her short stature producing silent steps, precise and without waste. She has to be here somewhere. With nothing in sight, the girl began to question the credibility of their intel. Doubt overtook her, and she put her hand to her right ear and spoke aloud. Hey, Cyan, can you hear me? If you can hear me, respond. I guess she's still preoccupied. Our intel was wrong. The target's not here. Nobody's here. The girl relaxed her guard and took a long, deep breath. The girl proceeded further into the sky terrace towards the balcony. There was a solid wood dining table at the center of the balcony, which overlooked the castle town below. A beautiful embroidery was draped over the table. There were several large dining chairs pushed underneath, each constructed from solid wood and handcrafted with impeccable detail. The table and all its amenities were works of art. Every object from the dining table to the decorations strategically placed throughout the sky terrace screamed of love. Perhaps overcome with envy, the girl proceeded to correct a toppled dining chair at the head of the table and nonchalantly plopped herself to the seat. A strange sensation shot through her small frame, a sensation that could only be described as one of grandeur. At the head of the table, like the castle town below, sat the girl, her upbringing a complete contrast to the seat's previous occupants. The absurdity of it delighted her. Slam! The uncouth commoner placed her shoes onto the now soiled embroidery covering the table, lounged back in the dining chair, and relaxed her eyes. Whose seat was the girl sitting in? Who could be so fortunate enough to be born into such privilege, to be allowed a seat so grand? These trivial thoughts bounced around the girl's mind. The owner of the chair was of little significance, because they had since abandoned the chair, fleeing in fear for their life as the castle came under siege. Royalty. If I could eat on a table like this every day, I'd feel right and royal too. The girl peered down onto the castle town from the balcony and saw the streets engulfed in flames. Beautiful. The town is just glowing. After her sarcastic soliloquy, the girl noticed something as she left her seat. Another girl stood at the entrance room where the first had entered. Mistress Mary? The girl addressed as Mary responded to her subordinates, greeting her with special gesture of acknowledgement and passive wave of the hand. You enjoy sitting seat, Coco? Asked Mary of her compatriot Coco in a deadpan, almost intelligible manner of speech. Not at all, mistress. Mistress Mary never appears unnerved by anything we do. Coco suddenly thought to herself. Coco's compatriot apparent. Mary appeared no older than Coco herself. Graced with a youthful look, but stunted with a child's height. While Coco appeared overtly belligerent, Mary appeared to exude an aura of harmlessness at first glance. However, her foes were also deceived by the aura of harmlessness. The hem of Mary's cloak was dyed from black to damp crimson with her victim's blood. I'm surprised you made it up here without carrying the end. Mary took to her head. Coco was puzzled. An ethereal question mark seeming to float over her head. Coco made no sense. Why ruin a good cloak? No reason. No rush. No rush? If you didn't notice, everything's on fire. That's plenty of reason to rush. Thick smoke and the stench of blood polluted the air. Shrieks and explosions echoed throughout the Rughzenahide castle. Even though Mary was at the center of the destruction, she was deaf to the orchestra of gloom in the background. Task near completion. No rush? You do have a point, but Coco was at a loss for words, defeated by Mary's simple retort. Target? Where? Oh right, the target. Well, she's not here. I guess San was misinformed. San, reliable. Even San wrong. We obey sister's orders. You mean orders? Orders. This was normal. Mary often communicated throughout expressions and gestures rather than words. Mary's mannerisms were simple, frank, and left little room for interpretation. Where else could the target be? I'm pretty sure we made a through sweep. Oh, thorough sweep. Plan B? Search and destroy. Oh, this'll take a while. I'm gonna go crazy from searching the whole keep. Funny. Coco made a distraught face at the thought of Plan B, a sight that entertained Mary. Mary took slight joy in seeing Coco's distraught expression. Sure, laugh it up. Plan B it is. Let's split up and do a thorough check of the east and west wings. I'll take the east wing. Blink. What's wrong? Oh. Recall shadow soldiers for escort? I'll be fine without them. My 150 shadows are already decimated most of the Rughzenahide warriors, so I'm not counting on encountering anyone. What's wrong, mistress? Don't let overconfidence cloud your judgment. Stated Mary in a soft voice, her words connected and well-formed. Everything's gone according to Sister's design so far, but you may ultimately need those 150 shade shoulders. Understood. Stuttered Coco, standing straight up like a student before a teacher. It's never bad to expect the unexpected. That's all I meant. Scary. I didn't expect to hear a safety lecture come from her. Bystanders could never comprehend the force behind Mary's change in speech. Mary would speak more plainly about things she felt more strongly about. A difficult task for someone with a speech impediment. Logical, seeing that she only recently began to remember her vocabulary. Even with her limited vocabulary and lack of situational awareness, Mary was in no way unintelligent. Coco, Mary's subordinate and partner, understood this. As they split up, a voice rang out in Coco's right ear. Coco? Coco? Can you hear me? Oh, Sian! Yes, I can hear you. How are things on your end? They all dead yet? I flooded and sealed them with first, second, and third floors with my men. So yeah, they're all dead. And unless their reinforcements are raining from the sky, there's no way for them to breach the gate to the keep. But get a load of this. I just finished offing these 2 guards, right? Seriously, they were totally pushovers. I think I'd get more of a thrill from killing these snoozers in my sleep. Says the person who volunteered to guard the rear. If you wanted action, you should have taken the lead. So, how are things going on your end? Fine, change the subject. Change the topic. That reminds me, you've got something to explain, Sam. You said the princess was in the sky carriage, but she's not here. Huh? She has to be there. If you checked the balcony already, then scour the place until you find her. I know already, alright? I'm gonna be sore from all this tomorrow. A thorough sweep of the terrace won't kill you, youngin. Says you, Sean. Why don't you come up here instead? Stop wasting time and get going, Coco. Finish this already. Lay off, bitch. I gotta admit, knocking this nation off its foundation took a lot less effort than I imagined. I know what you mean. The indestructible reputation of the Rughzenahide just didn't live up to reality. Some symbol of the Manicrafters Alliance, huh? The fact that Mistress Milano took an active role in the attack probably had a lot to do with how it was. If I had to guess, who cares? The Mistress is so unorthodox, I have no idea what she's thinking doing this. Have some faith, Jan. It's not like Mistress Milano could have done this on her own without us. Actually, I personally think she could have single-handedly destroyed Rughzenahide without us. If I had to describe the mistress in one word, it'd be shrewd. You've got a point. Alright then, I'm going to go secure and seal the remaining floors now. I hope you find the target soon, Xian. Out. Coco, out. Mistress Mary and Xian make everything sound so simple. Am I the only one who's feeling a little weird now? Oh, worried now? Killjoys the both of them. I was doing just fine without them, too. As Coco turned to make her way back to the sky terrace, a flash of light shot out of the corner of the east wing. Coco reacted a moment too late. What? The head of Coco's staff was sliced clean off. My staff! Coco's staff was made from a lightweight alloy, not especially known for its durability, but still metallic. The edge of a common sword might nick it, but anything shorter wouldn't even make a mark. Coco's eyes were focused on the weapon's tip as it passed by her head, digging its way into the stone wall before coming to a full stop. An invisible knife? An ice dagger? A Minecraft knife? Coco thought through the possibilities. Whatever type it was, she realized assessing her assailant took precedence. Who goes there? Show yourself! Out from the darkness and into the light emerged yet another girl. A servant to the royals, Coco thought. She wore a purple cloak over a tricolor tunic, both made from fine silk. However, what immediately drew Coco's attention was not the quality of this girl's clothes, but the crest which shimmered around the collar of her cloak. The crest represented her in her rank in the Minecraft Alliance. A dual crafter. The fact that the girl couldn't have been older than 20 shocked Coco more than the translucent knife that had been flung at her. Ritona rang in hostile. Coco didn't know it, but Ritona rang in hostile was loyal guardian to the Princess Selphine and Rughzenahide. I hope I'm saying these words right. Oh my gosh. Where were you hiding this whole time? What are you after? Why do you seek me, lady? Asked Ritona, having intentionally ignored Coco's question, knowing that she would not receive a satisfactory reply. Ritona concluded that learning any information regarding the enemy's objective was of the utmost importance. Seek me, lady. You got it all wrong. Listen, we haven't got a plan. We're only here to brighten Rughzenahide up, literally. Now, whether or not we decide to set you on fire is completely up to us. Got it? You're all at our... Oh, man, Got it? You're all at our mercy. Ugh. We're in control now. If you want to live, then you'd better liven up and tell us everything we want to know. If you don't talk, I kill you. I kill you, yeah. Simple as that. Very well. And judging by your attire, I'm gonna guess you're a servant around here, right? You wouldn't happen to know where Selphine is, would you? I do know where she is. You do? Great! Let's do this then. You tell me where she is and I promise to spare you. You will? And if I refuse? Well, obviously, if you don't tell me, then I'll kill you. Duh. Aren't my demands pretty simple and motivational? Are you trying to get on my bad side or something? Has a smoke onto your head? Is your brain too fried to comprehend the situation here? I'm starting to lose my patience with you. The next thing out of your mouth better be Selphine's location or... Princess. What? You shall address me, lady, as Princess Selphine, you disrespectful child. The inferno blazing in Ritona's eyes melted away her cool and collected demeanor. I do not know what it is you seek to gain from committing regicide, but you shall submit yourself before common courtesy, and address the Princess of Rughzenahide by her proper title. Your utter disregard for Milady's official title is evident enough of your lack of morality. Huh? The time for talk is over. Duel me! That is the only way you imbeciles know how to conduct yourselves. You will learn common courtesy after I have thoroughly disciplined you. Didn't you hear a single word I said? You think you can duel me? You think you can beat me? Are you out of your mind? Who cares if you're a dual craft? You can't beat me. Your stupid Minecrafter rank in the lines of me damn where I am from. On guard! In an instant, both Minecraft began gathering the purified mana. What? Two ethereal orbs of light slowly made through legs and revolved around Ritona, causing Coco to stare in awe. They began augmenting their mana with surrounding mana, preparing for battlecraft. Gradually, a torrential mix of colored mana began rolling around Ritona. Ritona had initiated the incantation Turbo, which gathers together both colored and purified mana. This resulted in an already overwhelming display of her mastery of Pyro and Terra Medica. Or so Coco had originally thought. What materialized from Ritona's extravagant display of color and pure metal was a translucent bladed weapon, which most Pyro and Terra dualcraft can create if they are inclined to melee attacks. You got my hopes up with that pretty light show, and that sword's all you have to show for it? However, it was no ordinary blade. A glass? It's a glass sword. You're out of your mind. What of it? You're nothing but a glass crafter. Do you have a death wish or something? You really think you can defeat me with that brittle blade? Enough chatter, child. Let us commence our duel. Keep it up, big bitch. You keep it up. Call me child one more time. I dare you. I double dare you. You think you can stop me, glass crafter? Is that what you think? Well, you're dead wrong. Clack, clack. As Coco concluded her declaration, she slammed the tip of her staff twice into the ground, causing a glowing triangle to emerge out of the base of Ritona's feet. She's casting a ranged Minecraft instead of engaging me in melee combat. I'll make you passing as painful as possible. Arise. Oh snap, what is that? Triangle incineration! Silence covered the east wing, followed by a pillar of fire shooting from the glowing triangle. Sluggish! Ritona escaped the trap, landing squarely behind Coco while running the tip of the sword along her neck. Yeah! Coco reacted in an instant, leaning forward while kicking hard at the ground to move away from Ritona. After landing at a safe distance, Coco quickly assessed her wound, but... well, where is it? What the... The wound was nowhere to be seen. The agonizing sensation of sharp glass carving through her back gradually dulled and dissipated. How did you... Coco realized then how the wound had vanished. At first glance, Ritona's sword would only appear to be made from glass, but it was in fact a lethal weapon of unusual craft. This glass sword is actually crafted from Transidian ore. It's often mistaken for plain glass. A Transidian sword? An ore capable of creating the sharpest edge known to humankind. It really did, but it's almost impossible to forge. Finding the ore without breaking it is impossible, but it can be done. My mastery of Pyro and Terra Minecraft allows for the creation of Transidian weapons, though it takes some time. Why would you bother crafting a sword out of Transidian at all? Don't you think forging a sword out of an alloy would have been easier? What difference does the material make, so long as the resulting edge weapon served its purpose? That's your reasoning for crafting some weird double-edged sword. In fact, why are you even dueling me with a sword? It makes no sense. You're a little slow on the uptake, aren't you? My battlecraft fort is in melee combat. Ritona leaped in an instant. Coco knew she would be outmatched in melee combat, so she tried to gain distance over Ritona. Just arise, my shadow soldiers! I think I said soldiers instead of soldiers. Coco slammed the tip of her staff into the ground once more. The shadow from the staff stretched to the nearest wall, from whence shadowy warriors began to emerge. Coco summoned forth 4 of her shadow soldiers. They quickly surrounded and trapped Ritona, leaving her no room to escape. This girl can summon shadow soldiers? The very same ones that attacked our castle? Be careful, she's a slippery one, but cut her down before she used that sword on you. And make sure she doesn't come anywhere near me. Coco raised her staff again, spreading a glow wave of mana into the air. The glowing halo of mana wafted towards and encircled the 4 shadow soldiers. May my wisdom of Pyro and Terra craft unbreakable chains. Slam! Coco's staff made contact with the ground once more, and the halo of mana materialized into a steel chain. How? Can she create and manipulate that chain from a distance? I need to seal her movements. With a single circle finger, Coco's shadow soldiers attempted to contain her man Ritona. Regardless of her entrapment, she continued to bob and weave between the countless wings of the shadow soldiers. Ethereal longsword. I've got her now. Quick, quick. Coco's steel chain fell over her shadow soldiers, and they used it to bind and trap Ritona. There's no escape this time. I'm gonna enjoy watching you die. Coco and the Shadow Soldiers closed in on the now changed Ritona, clasping hands to one another in the shape of a pentagram. And then, arise! Coco stabbed in the Shadow Soldier's black sword simultaneously struck the ground at the 5 points. From those 5 points, a glowing pentagram formed on the ground where Ritona stood. Pentagram incineration! Another pillar shot towards the ceiling in a flash, while a triangle was scorched into the sky ceiling from Coco's first attack. This attack punched the pentagram-shaped hole straight through the ceiling, revealing a full moon floating in the night sky. Woohoo! I bring that bitch to his crisp! What's the matter with you all? It's time to celebrate. Coco's Shadow Sword had ceased to respond to the master's awakening, throwing Coco into confusion. I'll never forget this sensation. For this sensation surpasses that of steel. Spoke a voice as Coco's Shadow Sword was dispersed. Yet again, Ritona escaped stride made her way around Coco's back. Coco was once more at Ritona's mercy, as she now found herself with the tip of Trishinian's sword pressed against her neck. Even when slightly pressed against skin, the sensation of flesh being slowly flayed was evident from Coco's grimace. That's not fair. Glass can't cut through steel. It just can't. Something about you doesn't add up. You're skilled in conventional combative manacraft, but those very skills are unsuited for it. Your first attack was powerful enough to scorch stone, and your second attack far surpassed the first, blasting straight through mortar. But the incantation intervals for both manacrafts was too costly. I could have defeated you in the time you took, twice. Thus, your ranged manacraft was insufficient in a duel that called for ranged. I don't need your stupid lecture. Coco clung desperately to her staff, bearing the immense pain of Ritona's Trishinian's sword against her neck. Why, when I was so close to achieving our objective, did I encounter this bitch? Very well. Your life is in my hands, but I do not wish to spill your blood. I detest using force in the means of resolution. I only desire dialogue to end this nightly's bloodshed. The pain Coco felt from the sword diminished. Dialogue? Coco reacted to Ritona's ultimatum with disgust, but in an instant, you're something else, you know that? Coco reached a conclusion regarding her opponent. She realized that Ritona would ultimately choose not to kill her, which brought her to dark delight. You're right. Coco sneered and lunged the tip of her staff down towards Ritona's foot. What kind of idiot would want dialogue with people who massacred her people? Oh, I know. I know who would. You! Indeed. Compassion had no place on the battlefield, even from a citizen of a kingdom renowned for pursuing pacifism. Even Ritona was well aware of this paradox. She knew she could be forced to take her foe's head. Ritona resisted, even struggled against the impulse to kill Coco. It was this very impulse that Coco and Ritona part. Coco was capable of committing murder without a hint of hesitation. You cannot defeat me, child. Your provocations fall on deaf ears. The only idiot here is the one who's still struggling with there's a sword pressed against her throat. Ritona struggled against the concept of executing the child. She even struggled against the concept of this child committing mass murder without a shred of hesitance. The concept of child soldiers were foreign to Ritona, who didn't know how fortunate she was to be born and raised in a peaceful kingdom. To Coco, Ritona's mercy was a childish ideal to pursue on the battlefield. It was kill or be killed. It feels like I'm talking to a wall. Your mercy makes no sense to me. Do you know how many of your people I've slaughtered tonight, and you want to settle this peacefully? Through dialogue? How naive can you be? Is it so wrong to take a life if it means protecting someone you can't live without? Well, is it so wrong? We're not so different, you and I. I know you'd kill to protect your precious princess. Ritona gave no retort. She was apprehensive at the very aspect of agreeing with Coco's creed. It wasn't Ritona to be rattled by words, so, in fact, Ritona was shocked into speechlessness, followed by the disquieting silence that befell the chamber. Ritona had never let an opponent's words affect her to the point of her speechlessness. The unnatural silence that filled the air felt almost organic, as it produced to conceal a shadow which found itself directly behind Ritona. Crafty Crusher! Ritona's transcending sword, reliable through her duel, was suddenly reduced to microscopic fragments. My sword is shattered from man's instability? I should have been able to detect this. Case in point. This is my favorite partner, Mistress Maya. We'd kill to protect each other. Maya greeted Ritona with her signature and wave. Create more shadow soldiers yet? I will now. I warned you that you would need those 150 shadow soldiers. Create sturdier shadow soldiers. I shall, Mistress Maya. What did you do to my sword? Broke it? With Gravity Crusher? You can do that? Minecraft is stabilization and nullification, but how? It should be an impossible feat. Normally a great deal of time and matter would be dedicated to such a thing. Mari's ability allows her to bypass that altogether. I wouldn't try to understand how the Mistress' ability came to be. You got more important things to worry about. Just know that the incantation turbo doesn't apply to any of the Mistress Minecraft, but for the rest of it, it does. That just can't be true. It's impossible! Ritona ignored Coco's advice and tried to make sense of it. Despite Coco's firepower, the incantation turbo required for each cast left her at a disadvantage when dueling. However, Coco's partner ensures absolute defense. They are the perfect sword and shield. The table had turned for Ritona. Because of the time she spent demanding Coco's surrender, Ritona's pursuit for compassion had betrayed her in turn. Forgive me, milady. Stay low to the ground. Okay. With a wave of Ritona's hand, the hidden glass wall in front of the chamber's gable fractured, then shattered. The sound of glass fragments was all that was audible within the chamber, as light reflected off the glass and illuminated the east wing. Princess Selphine, who had been hidden there the whole time, stepped out from the gable and into the blinding light. It's really Selphine. Coco immediately raised her staff and began casting an offensive Minecraft. However, Ritona had already reached Selphine's side by the time Coco raised her staff. Speedy! Why is the mana around her stirring so restlessly? Incantation? Interval? Wait, why is she even bothering to use Battlecraft? 1,000 pardons, milady, but please close your eyes just for a brief moment. Wind slowly got into a raging vortex, enveloping both Ritona and Selphine. Coco, get away from there now! The east wing was illuminated with blinding bright light once more. It wasn't the transcendent battlecraft she cast before. The light dispersed, revealing everything once again, except for... Mistress, what happened? What? What happened? Where did they go? They vanished into thin air? Alright guys, I'm gonna end it right here for the first part. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I am kind of enjoying it pretty far. It's late, you know, I'm enjoying it, okay? So, yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Laters.